Going live. It'll tell me when. I'll see when we've got some people there. We really need that 30-second thing, don't we? Intro for this bit.
You mean,
there we
go. Like Coronation Street, you mean?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I know there's people there because it's on my other screen, and I noticed there were a lot of people waiting. So, good evening, welcome to Raconteurs News. On this Tuesday evening, it's the 21st of January 2020, and it's Burro's birthday. Burro. It's been a good day today. I've had a really good day. Not only did the nurse come round and give me a decent INR check, but also my mate Heath just turned up. Well, he didn't just turn up, but I didn't know he were down here. I didn't know he were anywhere near, and he just said, "Oh, I'm just coming over." Like so, Heath came over, and he sat for a few hours before he went home. But unfortunately, Watson did what Watson does, and he took a chunk out of Heath. So for the entire duration of Heath's visit, Watson was residing in his cage, which we put him there for being naughty anyway, because he did break the skin. There was a little bit of blood, but nothing that a little bit of Savlon couldn't solve anyway. So that made him feel better, and I give him a kiss on his leg as well, just to make him feel better.
There was some Germaline. You remember that Germaline?
Oh, they used to make bubblies and all, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. And you know when McDonald's came out that root beer, it tasted like Germaline.
It what?
It tasted like Germaline.
What did?
Root beer.
Oh, well, I don't know. Root beer. I don't know what root beer is. Is that ginger beer?
No, that's not lashing.
Aniseed, is it? Aniseed.
Right. Well, that were good. That were a great contribution to tonight's show. I hope you're going to be a little bit better. It's good that you're in the middle, though, because tonight...
I should have a whistle, really, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Shall we go get a cap? I can get a cap if you want.
Some stripy tops and stuff. Yeah, it's in the middle. Now, we are having, and I know there's loads of people don't really like this subject, but I love it. I love this subject. This is probably one of me best. And when Heath were here this afternoon, in between biting and Heath hiding when I got the dog out to go for a wee, hiding. It was brave. It was very brave. There was only one door between him and the dog. So well done, Heath. He's probably still on his way back because he's driving, and he's the slowest driver in the world. The slowest driver, and he's got to go from here all the way to Northumberland, and he left at about 5 o'clock, something like that. So he's probably not going to be home yet. 8 o'clock now. He's going to Northumberland. He's probably going to be about 9 or 10. So anyway, he's not listening.
Thank
and
God.
I hope you're not. I can't get used to it. It's backwards, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is with the camera. Yeah. I mean, that way's really that way.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pointing.
It's stage right, stage left with you on the stage. It's weird.
I'm pointing at you.
Yeah.
Now, but
that's my ear. Do you mind?
Anyway. Raconteurs News this evening. It's Raconteurs 172, and our guest this evening. In fact, before I do that, I best say to you, Ade, how are you and how was your day?
Yeah, it's good, mate. It's good. I'm looking forward to this evening, actually, to being a not so much a referee,
a mediator.
Yeah.
And you can chuck your two pence in as well, can't you?
Yeah, because it's I mean, I've even had texts off people. Oh God, not that subject. Really, you're not doing that, are you?
Yeah, but this was inspired by me, so this is not like Jay said, "Come on, I want to disprove flat Earth." It's just that we engaged a little bit on Facebook, and I thought, well, this is, instead of typing this, let's just have this conversation You know,
Right, so Jay, come on, tell us about you. Who are you? What are you? Why are you here? And I don't mean what you had to talk about tonight. I mean a bit about you.
Yeah, we've not met as we as such. Well, I suppose it started out. I saw a documentary. I mean, my daughter just started nursery school, so I had a bit of time to myself. I'd just been watching Peppa Pig and that kind of thing for a few years. And now I was flicking through channels, and at the time there was a controversial TV channel on Sky, and I saw 9/11 Ripple Effect, and that's what woke me up, as they say. So yeah, I watched that, and then went online. I thought there must be, another side to this, and as I've said before, there isn't. There's the official story, and it just doesn't add up. So then I started posting on Sheffield Forum, trying to wake other people up, if you like. And that's where I met Jason on Sheffield Forum. And then a bit later
what a bunch of wankers they are, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
I've
hell.
not been on for years now because, I mean, as I say, there were a big thread on there, 9/11 conspiracy theories. It had many thousands of views, and it was probably one of the more popular threads. And then they deleted it and banned all talk on 9/11. They said, it's been done to death. There's nothing more to be said on 9/11. This were probably, 5-6 years ago.
Well, that's been got out, hasn't it? I mean, it's like when they said, there's nothing more to be said. It's really carbon dioxide.
Yeah, exactly.
The science is settled. Oh, that's all right, then we'll just fucking shut up, shall we?
Yeah.
That's when they can't win an argument, that's what they do. They just close it down.
Yeah. And around the same time, obviously, I came across the information on 7/7 bombings, and I sort of got into debating that. And then it was at the same time that John Hill Muad'Dib was he was extradited from Ireland, and he was in prison. And I started off like a petition to, have him freed, and I got a bit involved in that. And he did eventually got found not guilty, didn't he, and released. And I understand, Jason, you've had contact with him since, haven't you? Have you seen him lately or heard from him lately? I don't know what he's doing.
I've not heard from him lately. No, I've not heard from him since he had tea on my back garden. I've heard from Tony Farrell. Tony Farrell's been on again. I think we had him on. It was a bit of a bad connection, and he didn't want anybody to know where he were, and it were all very secretive. But yeah, I still believe they're active. They're not really very active on social media.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is when he came to my house, there was Muad'Dib, or Jar, or whatever you want to call him, Tony Farrell, and then there were two disciples, and I found it weird that these disciples were calling him Master.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that. I used to, I had a couple of emails off him, and when he was released, I suppose he thanked me for, setting up this petition and supporting him and what have you. And he used to refer to himself as TM, the Master, which is all a bit.
I don't get one man over another man. It just doesn't.
No. Which is a bit strange because he does, or he did think he was the Messiah, basically, didn't he? At one time, I thought that were all like misinformation, like a character, assassination. But he did. He don't like tarnish the information. I think the 7/7 Ripple Effect still stands up pretty well.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Great. That really seriously good piece of work.
Yeah. Yeah, because after I'd seen 9/11 Ripple Effect, I kept seeing, in the sidebar 7/7 Ripple Effects coming up, and I thought, well, that can't be the same as 9/11 because there were all these, like the suicide video, if you like. But, what the names now did, but yeah, when you look into that, that's a bit dodgy because it looks like that might have been done as part of this training exercise. What's his name were involved in? Who was that guy who went on and he said, we were doing an exercise at the
Peter Power.
That's the guy, yeah, Peter Power. So yeah, I got into both them subjects really, and the Holly Gregg were a thing at that time. In fact, it was that what got me onto Sheffield Forum. with the 9/11 and what have you, to be honest, I was a bit paranoid about posting about that because I'd not heard anything about it. I'm thinking that they've got a lot invested in keeping this quiet, so they're going to be keeping an eye on people who are looking into this information and what have you. But then when this Holly Gregg thing came up, which, I mean, these days, that's all a bit strange, isn't it? It were kind of exposed as being a massive hoax, but I don't know. So, yeah, I started posting on Sheffield Forum about that, and then I mentioned on there that, you know, I thought 9/11 were an inside job, and that got me into debating 9/11 on there. So, yeah, I met Jason on there, and then I bumped into him on Facebook, and then I've been on there a couple of times discussing some past dodgy looking like media hoaxes, false flags. And I started a Facebook page called False Flags and Media Hoaxes. So yeah, Jason's had me on a couple of three times actually. Once discussing that, is it Mandalay Bay Hotel, the Las Vegas shooting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've had you on a few times. There were that, and then we've spoke about the Tunisia one, which is for me is the you know, that's it never even gets mentioned at all, and the amount of people that were supposed to have died in that for me is the biggest.
You mean the beach one?
The beach one, yeah. I mean, there were British citizens. I can't remember how many, but they were in double figures.
Oh, it was 20
killed on that
20
day.
something, or yeah.
And yet nobody mentions it. Yet this Ariana Grande, we had you on about that as well. Remember the Ariana Grande Manchester bombing?
Manchester one, yeah. And then the last one with that. In fact, I was looking today. I've got a couple of things to say about that. There was a so-called terror attack. There was a guy in London. He clipped a couple of cyclists and then crashed into a barrier. That were in August 2018. I checked up when I looked earlier. You remember that one?
Doesn't that just mean he's pissed?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen a story today because he went to court and they gave his name and what have you, and then it were adjourned and then nothing happened, and I thought they just swept it under the carpet. But I had a look earlier just to check when that were, and he did appear in court in August, just gone. He appeared in court and he was found guilty of attempted murder on 2 people. So yeah, that was that one. I mean, and there was in the story some quite convincing, actually, CCTV footage of it happening. I mean, not that conclusive. It were taken from, you know, a long way away, the CCTV. So it could just as easily be some stuntmen performing something. So, and a couple of things in the story, like it said, there were cyclists trapped underneath their bikes, screaming in agony or something like that, when there was only 2 people injured, and just, you know, that didn't happen. There were nobody. You don't get trapped under a bicycle, do you?
You do it well,
not unless you're a hamster.
Well, yeah, maybe they were hamsters. Who knows? So yeah, that's pretty much how I got here and how I got to know Jason. So yeah, that Facebook group, that's been growing lately, because I think last time I ran it was probably maybe about 200 members or so, approaching 2,000 now. But I think that's brought it some attention, because yesterday I had a notification from Facebook saying they'd removed 8 posts and threatening to close the group because of, you know, I don't know, made up reasons.
It's a good job I'm not on it, isn't it?
Well, you see,
I don't have Facebook.
The funny thing is I had YouTube telling me that they wanted to recategorize our shows. So I've got it under entertainment, not education or anything like that. So it can't be like, you know, we're implying that we know everything and that whatever we're giving you is come true. Just entertainment, and they want me to recategorize it. But I don't know. They just said I could pick some, but I didn't even look. So I'm just going to leave it and
we're going to do social engineering
and leave it. Yeah. So anyway, Jace. Oh, let's say hello to some of the people in the chat room. Oh, fuck off, Watson. You've been a cunt all day. You fucking bit me on the finger earlier on, you know. Earlier, because I were holding him back, I got my green screen came. Another thing I'll tell everyone about, which my green screen came, and because I'm holding him back so Danielle can go to the door, and he fucking bit my finger, the twat.
We'll try feeding him.
Oh, do you know what? I thought to myself, perhaps if he gets his head kicked in, he'll fucking stop. So I thought perhaps I should take him to some dogfighting events and stick him in with one, you know, just to toughen him up a bit.
No, don't do that, because he'll come out like the dog in the mask. You know, when the dog puts the mask on and like, he'll come out like that.
Oh God, yeah.
So
yeah. Yes, anyway, I'm saying hello to people in the chat room. Dinny's in there, Ron Malcolm, Taylor's in there as well. New Being over there in Sweden. How you doing, New Being? Thank you to your country for IKEA, which means that just people get fucking lost. How do you get out of an IKEA? It's like, it's ridiculous, isn't it? You know, they save more people in a fucking earthquake than get out of IKEA.
It's just... I just refuse to go in the place.
I've never been in one, no.
Oh my God.
I've seen Sargent, though, that one in Sheffield, massive, in it, that building.
Yeah, but you can't just, you know, like B&Q, you can just walk up and down the aisles. Oh, no. It's all set out like a path for you to walk round. So if you're here and you need to be here, you've got to walk all the way around here and look at everything before you even get here. It's a fucking nightmare. I went once. That's it. Like that. But more people apparently go to IKEA on a Sunday for meatballs than go to church.
Fucking meatballs. Fuck them fucking horse meatballs. You know what they're going to be? You know what they're like? Swedes. They're fucking savages. You never know what's in there. It might be wolf or fucking deer. Or well, deer, I suppose you can eat deer, can't you? People eat deer, don't they?
Yeah. Venison, in it.
Yeah. What do you eat meat, Jason? I
don't know. Not since I was 17 when I stopped eating meat. So yeah.
So it's amazing the amount of people, you know, who like come in, have these sort of views, and you know, come across some people like us don't eat meat. There's a lot of them. Perhaps it's because they've got more empathy, or perhaps they don't like fucking meat. Bandit Buster is in. Go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I didn't like that much meat anyway. Though I think I only used to eat chicken and corned beef. I used to like mixed in my beans. But yeah, it was no big deal to stop eating meat for me. Really, I still eat a bit of fish now and again, but yeah, I'm not vegan either. I'll eat, you know, I love cheese and I have milk and all that. So yeah.
Brilliant.
I'd just like to answer a comment that Uni Black Sisters just put up.
I have big meat.
Yeah, but what I have to say is you could fucking sell it on eBay as unused.
Straight out of wrapper.
Yeah.
Put a Johnny on it and then say it's still wrapped up.
Anyway, right, we're gonna hit the subject. So, flat Earth versus round Earth, ball Earth is kind of where we're at. I'm referee, if you like. We've got visual aids from Jay, and that's a ball Earth. And then we've got Jason Jack Chit, who's he's not a flat earther, but he knows enough about it to fight the corner. My own view is simply this. I heard this the other day, and I thought that's probably a really good way of putting it. And that's that because we can't actually go up there and have a look and prove it for our own eyes, if you believe it's flat, you'll find enough evidence in a computer to prove it's flat. But if you believe it's a ball, you'd probably find enough information, enough proof inside a computer to prove that it's a ball. And simply because we can't go and check, it will only ever be an opinion, which is what makes it interesting. So, Jay, do you want to remind everybody what we were taught at school about how this ball thing works?
Me, Jay.
Jay, tell us how we're all on a ball that despite the known laws of physics, that is spinning. We're not flying off. We're actually being attracted to, by this magical force called gravity. So,
do you know what I just
Jay,
noticed then? I asked Jay a question, and Jason jumped straight in with an answer to what he thought Jay might come back with.
Typical bloody flat earther.
Bloody, I know.
I'm not
Come
a
on
flat
then, Jay.
earther. I've told you. I am just fighting their corner. There's nobody here.
Right, Jay.
First, I understand that, Jace. Yeah, you're not like an ardent flat earther or anything. You're on the fence, and yeah. I mean, I can't see this debate, like anybody who thinks we live on a flat earth, I can't see this debate changing their mind, or same with a ball earth, but we can do it anyway. I mean, thing is, I responded to your comment, weren't it, about the tennis ball thing. When I said, are you serious? I weren't being condescending. Generally, I weren't sure whether you were being sarcastic or because, I mean, you
no, mate, it's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. You take it as you see it. You say as you see. That's what you're supposed to do, man.
Yeah, because you'll hear people say it sarcastically and you'll hear people say it in all seriousness. So I really weren't sure. But yeah, as far as that, like you said about sticking to this spinning ball, I mean, people like do that, demonstrate, they'll spin a tennis ball and the water will fly off. But like I said in the comments, the Earth, it turns once in 24 hours, so it's not whizzing round like you imagine this tennis ball. If you got a tennis ball and you turned it round once in 24 hours, it might dry out a bit, but the water's not going to fly off due to centrifugal force, if that's the science what's doing it.
Yeah.
He's got a point, Jace.
What's that? I didn't hear any point. What was the point?
About the water, you can't. I wouldn't expect the water to fly off the Earth like you would when you spin a tennis ball, because it's only turning once in 24 hours, whereas you'd have to spin a tennis ball pretty damn fast, wouldn't you, to make the water fly?
It's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, and we're at the very edge of it. So if you've ever been on a roundabout when you were a kid, and you know where you used to spin them round and round and round, and you'd be at an end edge, and then it took you off. Right, so we're right at the very edge of that.
Yeah, but on that one, sorry, I'll let me finish.
Sorry, that being my point is that we're on the very edge of that, so we're experiencing the most speed. So,
but same with the tennis ball. If you were sat on that roundabout and you turned it once in 24 hours, you wouldn't feel that speed, would you?
I think what Jason's trying to say, Jay, is that that if you take the relativity from the tennis ball to the Earth, there's a big difference. Massive difference. So if you had a tennis ball that took a day to spin, you won't even notice it. But when the Earth's spinning and you're at the equator, what Jason's saying is we're right on the outside of that ball. So
yeah, but still it's the same. You're still traveling at one revolution per 24 hours. You know what I mean? Like 1,000 miles an hour, I know it sounds really fast, but when it's on something as big as the Earth, for a point on the equator to travel 1,000 miles in 1 hour, it's not that fast relatively. You know what I mean?
You see, I don't get it. Then I don't get how I don't think it can be spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. If it just can't be spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Can it?
You talk about in revolution. That's why they don't talk about things spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. They talk about revolutions per minute or revolutions per 24 hours.
Right.
Because you've got to scale it down to your tennis ball, and it's still turning once in 24 hours. Which is
but if you scaled that up to it, if you scaled that down the Earth to a tennis ball, then
it's still turning once.
It's fucking impossible to do, isn't it? Really, it's impossible to do because the water, the droplets would be completely fucking different. The size of them and stuff. So it'd be impossible to do. Look, I'll concede that point. If that makes sense.
if you don't, fair enough. I suppose it's. I mean, to me, that makes I can't, because it does have some effect actually. That spinning motion. I'd have to take people's word for it, but apparently there is like a bulge, and that's part of what causes tides as well. This the motion of the spinning Earth.
You see, the problem
slightly
with tides, and when they tell us all about how the moon pulls the tides, and well, they said that the gravity on the moon is it a sixth or a seventh?
1/6.
Yeah. Well, how the fuck did they know? Because they've never been. But the other point is, the moon doesn't spin. So how's it going with fucking gravity? Because surely if it got gravity, it'd be spinning.
It does. I think it does spin. It's just that the same face always faces us because it's locked into
not spinning, then, is it?
So it's not relative to us. It's not spinning.
It's not even spinning. It's not even spinning. If the face is the same to you, if the face is exactly the same.
Yeah, you're right. It's not turning like the Earth, is it? It's locked into the Earth. Yeah.
It's spinning.
If what we're told at school is true,
and we're told gravity is caused by the Earth spinning. That causes gravity. See, he's even pissing my wife off, and she's the most mellow woman in the entire world.
No, I don't think the Earth spinning's caused by gravity, is it?
Well, gravity. No, gravity is caused by the Earth spinning. I mean, what the thing that people can't understand. I had this argument well, not this argument, but I had this debate with Heath this afternoon. And it were coming up with some really good creative answers to things that I were asking him, and as I'll ask you later on. But do you think that people are not wanting to look as though they're turning the back on science or they're questioning science? Do you think there's a degree of that because people, when we said flat Earth tonight, you get people that really, really vehemently don't, I mean, someone in chat rooms put flat tards, so that's the way it makes people feel. That's the way that it makes people feel that they've got to have one position or another. And do you think that the people that vehemently and don't look at it at all, but just vehemently believe what they've been told all their life, do you think that they're blinded by science? And there is that word, isn't there? Blinded by science. You don't know what that term, should I say, blinded by science.
Yeah, I think
blinded by science is the fact that if they're going against science, as they see it, fucking science. Oh God, I can't do this. I need a cameraman. That's what I feel. When I've got my green screen up. Oh, by the way, everybody, we've got green screen now. I've just ordered a green screen. I've got it today. I haven't had time to put it up tonight and use it, but I will be doing it tomorrow night on my own, doing a solo thing. With my green screen behind me and demonstrating it, because StreamYard sent me an email and said, "Oh, you can green screen now; it's easy." So I've got a green screen, and let's see how easy it is. But we'll do that tomorrow night. That point that I made earlier.
You've got a green screen, have you?
I've got a green screen, yeah.
You haven't, have you?
Yeah,
it's good of you to mention it.
Go with his GoPro.
It's got on my GoPro as well. If anybody wants to buy that off me, it's £50, and I'll send it to you postage free. Ade, you don't want it for your helmet.
No, I've got one that's on my bike, and it's just points front.
Okay,
and back, yeah.
Jay, I think it's your turn.
Right. I think something else what tells us the world must be turning is the motion of the stars and the moon and everything. It looks, the stars move in a way just like they'd look if you were on a spinning ball, don't they? They all move together. So I think that's why flat earthers have to come up with stuff like everything being a hologram. And
I don't get
I mean,
that. You see. I don't get that argument because the stars are always in the same places and they're in the same places over a different time. But if we're hurtling around the sun, surely the stars are not moving because they are suns, so there'll be different solar systems, and surely then the night the stars would change every night, and you'd actually be able to see them moving.
Well, that's another thing. Like, to be honest, I thought that. I mean, when all this flat Earth stuff came up, I know it's been around for forever, probably anti-flat Earth. There's always been flat Earthers, but then it became a bit of a thing, didn't it? Maybe about I think it's like when I first started this job I'm doing at the moment, so it'd be about 5 years ago. I can remember things started coming up on YouTube. A lot of things about space, exposing NASA fakery and all this lot, which I started watching, and then they started like trickle feeding flat Earth stuff into these videos. And so I looked at it with an open mind because, you know, they lie about everything else. Thought, why not lie about flat Earth? So I was prepared for it to be true. So I started watching some of these videos and stuff. And I thought, to declare yourself as a flat earther, and you're going to have some pretty good damn evidence, because people are just going to laugh at you otherwise.
But surely, where's the evidence for the globe Earth?
Well, for some people, not myself included, they'll say, well, there's photographs from space of the Earth. Some people, that's convincing enough. But yeah, as I say, not for me, because I mean, that's where most flat earthers start out. They've got to break down your trust in NASA and the establishment, as it were, aren't they? Because otherwise, photographs from space would prove it's round. So, I mean, I didn't really have any faith in them anyway. So that's not, you know, good enough for me. Photographs from space. I know people say they're all CGI anyway and what have you, and maybe so, but I think there is good reason for that. Because I mean, if the ISS,
what could that reason be? What could that reason be? What would the reason be that they're all CGI'd?
If it, like, for instance, the ISS, it's not far enough away from the Earth to, you know, take a full picture of the Earth. Would you agree with that?
We've got Hubble space.
So they have to like knit pictures together to make a picture of the Earth, and that's, you know, why, you know, a flat Earth will say, oh, they're all CGI. And then there's the pictures.
You're admitting the CGI. If they're knitted together, they're all composites.
Yeah, and they would admit that. And that's how flat Earth is, you know, so they're all CGI. But
there must be a way to take a single picture of Earth from space. Look what Hubble telescope.
Well, it's frustrating because they send these telescopes off into space, don't they? You think, well, turn one round and let's have a look from that. And so, I mean, I do question, you know, all the moon landings and if we can go into space and all that. And because, you know, I have to take that on faith, but I think there's enough can be observed just as, you know, a regular person. There's enough to be observed stood on the Earth to show that it's, you know, a ball and it's turning round. Because you said about the stars, I mean, it's hard to get your head around the distances between them. And the stars do, over a lifetime, will not notice it. They do change subtly, but the distances are so massive in between all these stars. Then that's what I was saying. At first, I had them questions as well. I thought, you know, why aren't they, you know, your perspective view of the stars constantly changing? But then I looked into it, and it is, well, for me, it's just purely the massive distances. I mean, we're not going to notice it, you know, certainly not over a night time, and even in a lifetime, you know, the perspective view will change. That small amount, you just won't notice it. That's why you know, they look the same.
Yeah, interesting. Look, all I'm doing, I'm going from. I want everybody to know, I'm going from a perspective of a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther. I'm not a ball earther. I'm in between. I'm happy to be convinced either way, but I haven't been convinced either way. I don't think. People putting so many people put the faith in science and stuff, and don't. It's like when we talk about science, we are trading. Especially when we talk about science, we're trading in a currency that we don't really know, do we? We don't know it at all. We don't know anything, the worth or anything about that. There's so much about science that people question and have done for many years on many different things, but it seems to have got this type of religious type of demeanor in the consciousness of people, and until we start being true about things, and you ain't got fucking. Let's put some real professors on telly. Let's not put fucking Brian Cox, for God's sake.
Yeah, I can't.
Brian Cox on. Or what's that other one?
David Attenborough, I can't stand him anymore.
Attenborough.
Look what they did to
David.
what's his name?
Bellamy.
David Bellamy. He came out and basically said that all this bloody CO2 global warming is all a pile of shit.
Poppycock, he said, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's the last time he ever got on a TV screen. That was it, gone, done.
Yeah, he's not the only one, is he? There's at the moment, there's a professor. We're working in a university in New Zealand. He'd been studying the Great Barrier Reef for 25 years, and because he says it's fine, it's not dying because of climate change and CO2, he's got sacked. So then he went to court and he's had an appeal. He's won his appeal, but now he won his court case, but now the university have put an appeal in, and now he's got to fight that and raise money to fight that. There's Johnny Ball, weren't there? He's similar, though I don't think he quite got frozen out as much as David Bellamy, but he's just similar. Well, yeah, much.
I think he did. I mean, Johnny Ball used to be he was the go-to guy for kids' educational TV shows when I were a kid. Anyway,
yeah,
I remember, and he did get just frozen out. I remember it. Do that to anybody.
I would say not quite like David Bellamy. The only reason I said that is because I have seen him on telly a couple of times recently. Piers Morgan were talking to him, and he had to get in that I don't agree with your views on climate change, of course. And that weren't even brought up as a subject, and they didn't give him a chance to, talk about it. So yeah.
So that were David Bellamy, were it?
No, Johnny Ball.
Oh, Johnny Ball, right? Okay. Fucking Piers Morgan's a tosser and all, isn't it? Let's face it.
Look who we fucking replaced.
Go on.
That
fucking dead bollocks, didn't he?
Old dead bollocks.
Maxwell.
Oh yeah, dead bollocks. I remember he was
Maxwell.
Alive fucking toes.
Died on a boat. Didn't really get fucking got
Maxwell.
rid of pedophilia.
Right, yeah. In the media, yeah. I was thinking.
And then Piers Morgan came after him, didn't he? So he's not exactly going to be a stand-up guy with an honest. Yeah.
Well, he got sacked from Daily Mirror because his wife, I think. He tipped some shares for people. You have these share tips. Oh, get involved in this, and it was his wife's company.
Yeah.
So he got sacked from Daily Mirror for that. So it's what we're talking about. We're talking about a piece of shit, and he acts as though he's this man of the people type guy, and it suggests that he asks the controversial questions, but he don't go far enough, and he don't go far enough because he's a dick. And let's face it, anybody who's watching him they're not really tuned in, are they? They're under the spell of Piers Morgan, and they think that that because he's pro Brexit and he don't like transgender, and he'll argue with him and stuff. Then he's one of them. So
I mean, I honestly believe that if you're on TV, you're either stupid or controlled, but most probably both.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, because I don't watch telly, but I see a lot of Piers Morgan because I'll be in the kitchen in the morning making my daughter sandwiches and that, getting her ready for school. And my wife, she had GMTV or whatever it is, what he's on in the morning chat show with that other, what do they call her? I don't know, his sidekick anyway, and it proper frustrates me listening to them. I mean, he does actually come out, like you say, he has some stuff I do agree with, but he's such a cop. Can't stand him.
Yeah.
He's got a massive cock. Yeah, Piers Morgan. Yeah, yeah, he it's like it's almost as though he's like a prototype of what they want people to be. They want them to have these fucking. They want them to have these ideas that are anti immigration and things like that. Not racist, just anti-immigration and pro-Brexit and all this sort of stuff. And then at the same time, saying, like you say, he said to Johnny Ball, "I'd like to say I don't agree with your opinions on climate change." So he's still fucking holding to that. So he's obviously just a character.
I think he's a toe dipper. What I mean by that is, when they've got an agenda they want to push. When they've got an agenda they want to push, right, Piers, this is the subject for this morning, and you're going to push it a bit too far and just see what people's reaction is. So he sticks his toe in the water. They see what actually happens and get a pretty good idea of how far they can push it and get away with it. He's a toe dipper.
A toe dipper.
Toe dipper. You see, when you said that, I thought you were talking about something from your trips to Thailand.
No, feet is one thing they're not into.
Well, yeah, but you might be, and I don't suppose they'll mind dipping the toe in you. Probably have to pay a bit more, right? But
You're shocking.
Oh, this is a shocking show, isn't it? It's a shocking show that we're having tonight. We've got Jason Green. He's our guest. We've been talking about flat Earth, but I think it's probably died a little bit. I think he kicked me arse a lot, really. And he said things that I weren't really aware, that I weren't really ready for.
That I'd like to ask.
Go on, then.
If you actually stand at the coast and look out, it's fucking flat. And I've done it where you see a boat and it's gone over the horizon, and then you get the binoculars out and it's still there.
Yeah, but if you
I've
doing
been up in light aircraft. What's the highest? I think the highest I ever went in a light aircraft was 5,500, 6,000 feet, and I couldn't see a curve. I'm not saying that's very high up, but I couldn't see a curve.
You mean a curve so the horizon looks curved, or curved from? Yeah, because
all I'm saying is, before I went to school and was taught it was a ball, if you'd have said to me, "Is the Earth flat?" and as a kid, I'd have gone, well, yeah, of course it is. Because otherwise, my football would be rolling one way, and the horizon would look curved, and it's just natural to think when you're a kid that that is heavier than a feather. It's got a bigger mass, if you like. It would fall quicker, and then all of a sudden you go to school and they go, no, it's a ball, and it spins around this brightly coloured ball, and then this other ball, well, it doesn't spin, but it kind of sticks close to it. And then we've got night and day because it's turning that, and you sit there and you go, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's what I felt when I was at school when they were teaching it to me, because my natural instinct was, well, of course it's flat. Why would it be anything else? Yet we're a world where I speak for the people that I speak to, where the majority believe it to be a ball.
Yeah. I get what you mean. So, yeah, the horizon line, think about that. I mean, for me, you've got to remember you're not looking at a circle subjectively, are you? You're actually on the ball. And when it's so massive, it is essentially flat. If you're looking at the ocean, you're only getting a few miles in your peripheral vision. So I wouldn't expect, although as a kid, yeah, I would question it. I might expect to see a curve if we're on a ball. But it's that massive. We're not going to detect the curve, not the horizon. How you look at it. It's not going to look like a rainbow type shape, But
have you seen that video where it's on American news, and there's a guy stood there going, "Oh, look, and today you can see this is a mirage because of the curvature of the Earth. You can't normally see from. It might have been one of the Great Lakes." Somewhere, Canada, America, and they're saying, "No, this place is 100 and God knows how many miles away, so you can't see it because it would be below the curvature of the Earth line. Yet today you can see it, and it's a mirage, and you look at it and go, that's not a fucking mirage. It's just a really clear day, so you can see it."
Yeah, of course, refraction. That's what helps, or that's why sometimes you can see things beyond what you should be able to. I mean, they say the curvature is 8 inches per mile squared, and I find it hard to get my head around that, to be honest, because I was never good at maths and stuff. That don't really mean much.
So you're relying on somebody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
But refraction, it is accepted even among the flat Earth community. It is accepted that refraction is a thing, and that you can see over the curve. It's like light does bend. It's similar to
it's awesome, isn't it? This is awesome. This is what Eve were going into, like really complex, really fabulous and great. You can see over the curve because it's like this is what Eve were doing earlier on. Sorry, Jay, go on.
Because it is accepted, as I say, even amongst your big flat Earth community, that refraction is a thing, and it will allow you to see.
Refraction's just bending the light, isn't it? I mean, that has to be in special conditions for that to happen. It has to be really, really perfect conditions.
You're only going to see it over water, and depending on different conditions, that depends how much it's going to work. So,
See, my whole thing is that whatever it is that breaks your duck, for you it was 9/11. For me it was money. I think it was 9/11 for Jason. The first domino that falls over. Eventually, you end up at this point where we're talking about this particular subject. So we're all naturally skeptical straight away. So we all want to believe that it's not how the establishment teaches it is.
Yeah, that's how I felt. When I started looking into it, I wanted it to be flat even. So I thought that would just blow my mind, and it'd open up so many questions. It'd be amazing, and I think that's why some people fall into the trap, because they have this lack of trust. And
for me, it's almost like a fucking hell. If this is true and I can prove it, then this is the one thing that would make instantly everybody believe that the establishment are lying to us about everything, because this is one thing that could never cover up.
Yeah,
but of course we can't prove it.
Yeah,
we can prove about the money, we can prove about the paper laws and all that shite, but we can't prove either way with this.
Yeah, Webby's in there as well. He's making a point that let me just pop up here. He says for 60 miles away there is approximately 2,500 foot of curvature. With my P900 will allow you to see it. That's not refraction. So Webby's making a point that it's not refraction if you're getting a P900, whatever one of them is. I would imagine it's a camera of some kind with a zoom on it.
Yeah, I've heard it mentioned. I think it's the sort of flat earthers camera of choice, that one.
I think
what about that camera? But yeah, if you can see beyond the curve, it is because of refraction. I'd say, and because eventually everything will go over the curve. I mean, if you see things before they get to the horizon, you can see there's lots of footage you can look at, and you'll see the boat as it goes away. You'll see the bottom of the boat disappearing, and even before it gets to the horizon, I mean, logic will tell you that at some point, if that boat is disappearing bottom upwards, that event, as it travels away from you, it's gonna all disappear into.
But what if that's simply the reflection of the boat in the water separating, because your perspective, the reflection separating away because you're seeing it over a different distance, so that the light's bouncing off here and getting to there, and you're seeing the boat, separate.
I just want to read a.
Nobody cares about what I said. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean, to be honest, Jace.
Every time I'm fucking on this show, everyone just stops for like just a second. Like there's a pregnant pause, and I'm here like holding my dick in wind. I've just said something really profound, and you're two are like fucking tumbleweeding me.
I was thinking, to be honest, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah.
Well, what I mean is a boat will have a reflection in water, right? Now, as the boat moves away from you, the light you can see the boat because the light from the boat is hitting your eyes, but the reflection of the boat would be, because of your perspective and how far away you are, the reflection of the boat, the light would go from the water here, so it would appear that it's a long way away, and the boat actually be here. So that would allow for the refraction, but it would still allow the water to remain flat. I mean, the water that always finds its level would remain flat. Do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, I do. I just want to read New Being, but my input into this discussion is that it's not important. Only a distraction from other stuff like that affect us more, like vax, food, 5G, chems, etc. Yeah, completely. The reason we wanted to talk, the reason why I wanted to talk about it, is simple. Let's assume that it's not what we're told. If that is true, and all these people have got really good evidence and something that could be proved to be fact, my question would be, why? Why did they tell us it was a ball? Why? What's the benefit of them doing that?
Let me just interject here and just say something about New Being saying that it's a distraction. Everything's a distraction. We're a distraction. We're distracting people away from watching the shit on the TV or watching somebody else's show. We're a distraction for them. This is what this is. Everything's a distraction. And I've seen people. There was somebody who put one at first comments that went in chat room. Mahat Malevolence said it was a complex psychological operation. Now, I tried to get through. I rung the government up, Downing Street, and I tried to get through to the complex psychological operations department, and it does not exist. So, obviously, this is a distraction. Yeah, you're right. This is a distraction. This is three blokes having a conversation about stuff that people normally fucking chuck chairs at each other about. But we're able to. Acknowledge when one person's got them, one person's point of view, it makes more sense than your own. We're able to do that. So that would just be point. But carry on. I just seem to be talking a lot tonight. Must be this joint I've had. Not drugs, by the way. Go on, Jay.
Yeah, no, I think my point is, like anything else, it's, well, 9/11, I've got my own opinions as to why they'd have done that. And I think that's the answer, that once you get to this point of discussion, we are all quite skeptical. And the point of the discussion in the first place, well, it doesn't matter to my daily life whether it's fucking flat, round, curved, ball, complex, don't matter. My daily life won't change. But if what they've told us in school, etc., isn't true, and a lot of it wasn't, they told me at the time they were all theories, so how much of it really is theory? Who benefits from what we were told? That's the point of the discussion. Who benefits? Because
most flat earthers will say that they're lying about the shape of the earth, because if the earth is flat, then it proves there is a creator, there is a God, kind of thing.
Okay,
and that's that is absolute proof for them. So I think that's why a lot of people go to the flat earth theory. I mean, the ball earth doesn't prove there's not a God, does it? I mean, I've got spiritual beliefs and all that. I've got some, I'm not religious at all, but I've done ayahuasca and stuff like that. It opens up spiritual beliefs in you. I've travelled to other dimensions.
And what was it, flat or round?
All kinds of beautiful shapes, man.
Shapes and colours.
Sorry, how long will it take me to drive to yours, Jay, from where I am?
Only 10 minutes, mate. You can be here sat next to me.
Hey?
You can be here sat next to me.
No, the other Jay. Sounds like he's got some better stuff.
Anytime, mate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he'll give you some ayahuasca. He does ceremonies in his front room, apart from on Sundays, because he's got Tim Bath out there then.
I thought you were going to say he does ceremonies in his wife fronts.
I know.
Not probably that and all, yeah.
Well, you're on about doing show naked, weren't you, overnight? I'm doing your pre.
Man. If you'd known this guy as long as I have, some of the things that he does are just completely spontaneous. But he's equally as good at planning shit as well. That's just completely stupid.
I don't know who you're talking about, Ade.
Well, like when Nigel pulled out a gun and shot you.
Oh, fucking dickhead. Fucking Nigel, the dick. Fucking knock on his fucking door. He opens his door, puts a fucking shooter to me head and drags me in. And then just starts laughing his fucking head off.
It wasn't a real gun, by the way.
It what?
It was?
It was a real gun, yeah.
I know it got a blank in it when he shot you.
Yeah, it's got a blank in it, but yeah, it was.
Oh, I didn't realise it was actually a real gun.
It was actually a real gun, yeah. Yeah, it was. Can't remember.
This is a long time ago, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It is a long time ago. Can't remember what it were. It were a fucking. It was just a sidearm like thing, but. Yes, yes, good old Nige. I hope you're listening, Nige. Oh, by the way, this was mine and Nige. In fact, it's amazing that I've got this. It's amazing that I've got this. Let me just find this here, and there we go. This was mine and Nige's favorite cartoon from Viz, right?
Yeah, I get that.
It's funny, isn't it? How it came up that was mine and Nigel's favourite thing.
Yeah.
Listen, we've done an hour. We've got another hour to go. We're not going to play any music or because we can't. Because I'm just still trying to work out how to do this on here. But we will at some point have some sort of interlude. But at the moment, we haven't. So it's either we sit here and go off and don't do all, or we just carry on talking. So we carry on talking. We'll get back to Flat Earth. But while I remember, I wanted to ask you, are ISIS on their extended Christmas holiday?
It seems like that, doesn't it? I think the climate has taken over from ISIS, seems these days.
or Harry Hewitt.
Aye, him and all. Yeah, because that was the Prince Andrew thing, weren't they? And that's all been swept under the carpet since this Harry and what's her name? Is it Meghan?
Yeah, I last week I was a bit, oof. You know, it's either Granny saying, "Oh, we're not having you marrying one of those," or it's him saying, "Fuck you, Granny, you killed my mum, and he's not my dad anyway because I'm a ginger, so I'm off." And I'm more beginning to believe now it's the second one, him saying, "I'm off," and them saying, "Not that far away, you're not."
Well, he's not going to have said that to him, is he? He's not going to have said that to him. He's not going to say, "Look, I know you killed my mother, so I'm off." Because otherwise, it'd have been right. Just hang on a minute. Let me just fucking knight you clumsily before you go. You know, that's what it would have been. Fucking Queen would have had him. He wouldn't have said that. I think it might even be. He might have his suspicions, but he can't really prove all. And he wants a quiet life. He's got a family, and he in that interview that I saw with him, he was talking about his family. He's now got a family, and he wanted to protect it. So fine. And everyone will go up in arms. Oh well, if he goes, don't fucking give him any money. Well, he's not going to fucking go hungry, is it? It's Prince Harry. He can go and up and night.
He's never going to be living in somewhere like the Gorbals used to be in Glasgow, is he?
No, he's going to be fucking opening New Yorks. In the Rotherham of Canada, because they're about that far behind, aren't they? New York in Rotherham. It's probably a new place in Canada. So he's probably going to be opening up them sort of places. Jesus, he's not going to go hungry. And he's getting his son away as well. Now, does that make him easier to pick off, or does it mean that they're not going to? Or, I don't know, does it mean he's safer? Oh, hang on.
Look what's just come up on my Facebook.
On my wife's Facebook, it's just come up, an LBC thing, saying they will no longer receive public funds for royal duties, talking about Meghan and what's her face. So they're listening. We know they're listening. Fuck's sake, they were watching us last night. Every time I went in the kitchen, it went off, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah. Weird.
The weirdest thing, Jace. Honestly, every time I went in the kitchen, it went off.
I saw that, yeah. I was watching a bit last night. I like him. Who was that guy? I don't Rob Alford last night.
Yeah, Rob, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know out about him, to be honest. First I've seen him, I don't know.
He's a good lad. He's all right. It's one of the boys. You've just got to know how to take him, and that's it. On here, we've had some rape wankers on. We've still been nice to them, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had some nice people.
No, I'm not talking about Rob. This is not me saying Rob were a wanker. I'm just saying this is how we do this. Rob.
I know you do. I know that's not what you're saying.
Rob, if you're watching, you're a wanker.
I think we're a bit annoyed by that when somebody had said that he could talk. I think he was a bit offended by that.
No, to be honest, he's exactly the opposite of offended. All he'll do is get a stupid comment and just want to stick it back down your throat. That's what he's like. That's just Rob.
I see.
But I guess in a way, him saying, "Well, what the fucking hell did you expect? It's a talk show," was a pretty good point. But
exactly, yeah.
I think the thing with Rob is he's got encyclopedic knowledge, and so when he's on with the history and stuff, he goes very, very deep. It's not as simple as this country was this. He'll go right back and tell you how it's ended up being what it is today. Yeah. And because of that, a lot of people sat there going, "Oh, fucking hell, it's history." Even though it's quite relevant to what's going on today.
Yeah, he were good. He had vast more knowledge than I've got, but I did find myself, sharing a lot of the same views he had at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Strange things going on here, man. Strange things. what I was wanted to get into, space.
The final frontier.
Go on,
Make
give
it
me your. Oh, by the way, everybody, if you could just pop us a thumbs up or something, then that'd be nice, or a thumbs down, as long as you're, letting us know whether we're good or bad. And we'll probably be mostly bad on this one because Flat Earth just seems to bring out the worst in people. I don't know what it is. But yeah, if you could give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, then we'd be most thankful for you. Yeah,
not that we get any money because we've never monetized it, but
no, with thumbs up and thumbs down, it feels nice. You know what I mean? You look at it and you think, oh, look at that! Look how many thumbs up that's got, and I we're part of that. So that makes you feel nice. Anyway,
what, like squidgy?
Well, we're space.
Yeah, space.
So, yeah, we run about stars before, weren't we? Emotional stars. I mean, to be honest, yeah, you got to take that on faith, that we are traveling, these massive distances through the stars. But yeah, got to take that on faith, or we ain't got to take that on faith. But I think we can tell the Earth itself is turning, even if we're not flying around the sun. I think we can be pretty sure the Earth is turning just by what you view at night and how the stars move across the sky. And that's another one as well. When I'm in Australia, the sky and the moon appears just as it would if you were stood on a ball, you know what I mean, on the other side of the ball. That's pretty clever hologram, or, it's because we're on a ball.
But what about? I've noticed that sometimes in the morning it's bright light and it's sort of midday and there's still a moon in the sky. And I saw a video on this where somebody had there was somebody in Britain and they were videoing the moon in the sky, and the guy in Australia, obviously it's nighttime, was also videoing the moon. Now, it can't be in two places at once. How do you explain that?
Well, it can, because we can be, you can be in two places and see the moon, can't you?
No, but how can you? I know you can be.
It depends where you are on Earth, aren't you? If like,
hang on, my blue tack can be the other ball. I can be the moon.
Right, if say, I'll put my glasses on. Shit at geography, Say I'm on this. Where are we? That's America.
See, I get how the ball thing can work with a moon, and be able to see it from Australia as well.
Yeah. So you could, if you're could be right on this side of the world and be on this side of the world and both be able to see something in the sky.
I'm looking for something that's round. Haven't we got anything? If that's the Earth, and one of you's here and one of you's here, and the moon's here, of course you can both see it.
There's something wrong with you two, There really is something wrong with you two. If it's high up in the sky, and I've got a full moon in the sky here, and the guy in Australia's got a full moon, if you're saying to me that it's at a point that is in between, then surely there'd be different. We'd be able to see different sides, but it's the same, always the same side of the moon. It's always the same.
You will see the moon from a slightly different angle. If you're on one side of the Earth looking at it and somebody is on the other, it's only going to be a very subtle difference, because you've got to think how far away the moon is. So you will see a slightly different face of the moon if you're on the opposite side of the world.
You can't, though. It's the same. It's always the same.
You're seeing essentially the same side like that. But if you're on one side, you'll see a bit more of this side if you're in, say, Australia, and you'd see a tiny bit more of that side if you're.
This is very good. I love.
It's just like Johnny Ball used to do.
He's sticking up for his ball, isn't he?
You're not thinking about how far away it is. It's really far away, and we're here. You know, it's only a little bit.
270. It's only 200. What is it? 243,000 miles.
Yeah,
still.
apparently. But again, how do they know?
So
yeah,
how
so-
come? How
yeah,
come?
so-
Right? Answer me this, right? How
Yeah.
come how come the pictures that are taken supposedly from the moon of the Earth are not massively bigger than the moon? And well, how do we see the moon?
Well, I know if I went outside with my camera now to take a picture of the moon would look tiny on it. It looks more like a star. I know it's
No, but we're not talking about taking pictures. I'm talking about visual. You know, we're talking about NASA here. They've got the best cameras. They've got cameras that can, you know, withstand, not to mention fucking suits that can go from minus 200 degrees to 200 degrees Celsius and fucking control that with a bit of water. You know, on you know, if you go from light into shade. You know, they've got the best of everything. They should be able to get a camera that can zoom in on Earth, and they can zoom in on somebody's house and somebody going like that.
Well, they reckon they can, don't they?
Well, they reckon they can, but they
Satellites,
can't.
at least.
You've seen those
Satellites, at least, they reckon they've got, like military, have got technology to, you know, they could look at somebody's face from a satellite.
What if that's land-based GPS coordinates that are just instantly put into a like, you know, an image?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, as I say, I'm not 100% by any means convinced that we went to the moon and all this lot, you know. But that doesn't prove it. I mean, that's a comment I've made in many a flat Earth video. It says NASA, you know, faking shit does not equal Earth is flat.
No, it don't. No, you're right. But it's another part of it, isn't it? It all fits in.
Yeah.
It's another part of it. Yeah, it's like saying, oh, just because Building 7 fucking fell down on its own, don't mean to say that, don't prove in itself that 9/11 were an inside job. But, you know, it's a pretty big fucking part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that is where arguments first begin, doesn't it? Because people say, of course, it's not flat. Haven't you seen a photograph, you know, from the moon?
That blue marble.
Yeah, which, as I say, you know, I'd need more evidence than that. So I go on what I cannot observe myself, and that's, you know, stars traveling through the sky just like they would if I was stood on a ball what we're turning it, you know, once a day.
Well, here's one I'm going to ask you, because I don't believe in space travel at all. Right? I don't believe satellites. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't buy any of it. I think it's all fucking shit. It's been made up from start to fucking finish.
No fighting while I'm gone. I'll be 1 minute.
Yeah, they learned they could fake. They learned that they could fake it in '69, and since then they've been doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Now, I asked. This was one of the questions that I asked Heath this afternoon, and he came up with some fucking really wild, like, scientific. I don't know, some scientific. I think he invented something just to be able to make an answer. But I said to him, how does a rocket propel in a vacuum? Because there's nothing for it to propel against.
Yeah, that's not how rockets work, though. They don't work by pushing against.
What do you mean they don't work? Of course they work by that. How do you think rockets, right? They get us off at ground. How do you think they get us off at ground? They propel against, first of all, the Earth when they're setting off, right? And then against the air that's around them.
They will do that, yeah. They will.
If I'm in a rowing boat, right, and I'm on a rowing boat and I'm on water, what's happening is I'm putting my oars in and I'm pushing. The density of the water is propelling me forward by my motions. Right now, if I put that rowing boat in my kitchen, and I'm trying to row and wondering why I'm not getting anywhere, it's because I'm not pushing against anything. And that was what would happen in a vacuum. A vacuum, nothing would happen. And Heath came up, honestly, he came up with this, and I'm not taking piss. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just point out that even people that listen to shows like this and that do know still have this tendency to go towards science and even make stuff up. He said, right, that the rockets, firstly, they release oxygen into that vacuum, and then the rockets and propel forward. And I thought, what, eh? And I was trying to work out, and I was trying to get it, but it doesn't work in a vacuum. You get a vacuum, you put a fan in, you drop a feather in, it just goes straight past it. Just hang there, won't move. The fan's going round and round, won't move. There's nothing for it to move. There's no molecules. There's no air molecules for to be moved about for it to move.
You don't need them though.
It's a vacuum.
It's not our, honestly, that's not our rocket. They will push against atmosphere if there's an atmosphere there, and they will push against.
But there's no atmosphere in space. It's a vacuum.
But they don't need it. They will do that if it's there, but they don't need it to propel themselves. It's the force of something coming out, and it's like an equal and opposite reaction.
But that you see, that is just absolute and utter bullshit. Right? The equal and opposite reaction does not work unless we're on Earth. That's something that's been proven on Earth. That every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's fine. But what you're doing is, first of all, how does a rocket ignite in the vacuum of space when there's no oxygen? And you could say there's oxygen fed to it. Yeah, fine. But still, once the flames come out, there's nothing to propel. There's nothing to propel against. There's no atmosphere. There's no molecules of air. You see, it gets thinner and thinner and thinner as you come off Earth. Down here, the oxygen is thick and it's good. It gets thinner and thinner and thinner until there's nothing.
But yeah, well, I can only sort of disagree with you on this one because it is. I can't remember the name of the force and how it works exactly, but I know that's how rockets work.
You can't believe. Yeah, rockets work on Earth. Of course, rockets work on Earth.
Yeah,
against air molecules, which is why there has to be so much force coming out of them to enable them to reach the speed. That's why it takes such big rockets, because the amount of fuel needed, especially once they're off the ground, to propel it up, it's got to be so fucking powerful to fight against gravity and propel up, but it's propelling against the air molecules that are there. Once those air molecules have gone, that rocket is rendered useless. It's completely useless.
To recycle a newspaper.
Well, I don't believe that's the case, but yeah.
I believe.
Actually, I've seen it demonstrated. If you go on YouTube and search it, you'll find examples of rockets working in a vacuum. Like people have made vacuums and done little rocket type things. But one showed it with a Coke can exploding inside a vacuum. That when it burst through a thing, it moved. Oops. It moved a little bit. It pushed the Coke can. Just the force of the liquid or fuel or whatever comes out of it makes it go the other way. And when you're away from gravity, it doesn't take a lot of force to push it in that direction.
Right. Okay. Well, listen, I'll take that on advice. you've not convinced me. I'm still convinced that if
I
you're in a
remember bringing
vacuum,
that up when you had Ben Emlyn Jones on, didn't you? I remember you bringing that one up, and I think I can't remember. I think he disagreed with you, but you didn't realise it because he came up with the term of how rockets work. I think, unless it's me who misunderstood what he was
I
saying.
think he did. Yeah, you know what I do, and I wish I could remember what that term were. But at the time, I remember at the time thinking to myself, that is complete and utter nonsense. I didn't say it. Ben couldn't take it like you could, but no, he's a nice guy, Ben. So, but I just wanted to just say that was just complete and utter nonsense. You all right? What did you say?
Ben being a nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's a proper nice guy.
Yeah, I like Ben. Yeah, so he's on my Facebook.
Listen, I need to replenish my alcoholic drink, so I'm going into the kitchen. If I fucking lose this stream, I'll be back on just as soon as I can. But let's see if it happens again, second night in a row.
I feel like a guinea pig now rather than a hamster.
Well, you two carry on.
Right.
Right, Ade, you were saying about, weren't you, asking why? I know I'd answered it, sort of asking why why would people want the Earth to be flat? And I was saying about, it's religion.
Why would they lie to us? What's the benefit of them lying to us?
Yeah, I mean,
that's my daily life. It don't.
That's about the only one that I'd heard that, it was hiding the fact that there is a creator or a God, because this earth wouldn't have formed naturally, kind of thing. So.
You see, for me, it's not so much a debate; it's more that there's no fact, is there? We can all have our own ideas. We can all have our own bits that we remember, or bits that we haven't actually got a definitive answer. Yeah,
I mean, I can't think any other reason why people would lie about the shape of the Earth. I mean that's what we're going to say. So they believe that God must have created this flat plane what we live on. I mean, usually they say it's a disc with a dome, a glass dome on top.
Yeah, because that was in what was that in? Genesis, isn't it? In the Bible, talking about
a firmament.
Firmament, yeah. Is it Genesis? Yeah. It's Genesis, isn't it?
Probably, yeah. That's
I'm sure it's Genesis. Yeah,
created, weren't it, in the Bible?
These are them all Black Sabbath.
If anybody can remember whether it's Genesis, because that's bugging me now, but. So if anybody can remember whether it's in Genesis, but I think it is.
It's Genesis what bangs on about creation. If he put the stars in the
firmament and yeah. So imagining we're a bit like one of them snow dome things, really.
Yeah, and I suppose the reason for lying for it, in that if people believe the Bible, they believe, which probably, I mean, the world is ruled by evil, it seems, don't they? But they think we're like sort of ruled by the fallen demons, angels, or whatever, and it's them who want to keep us, from God, I suppose, from believing in God. And it's all a big test, I suppose. I don't know.
Oh, this is getting deep and philosophical, isn't it?
Anybody would think that maybe one of us might have just been smoking something not tobacco.
Yeah,
is there a likelihood that there might be just one or more?
Well, I'm not. I'm smoking weed.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. And so, Jason's. Are you smoking weed?
I am. That's my dry herb vaporizer. I don't smoke tobacco anymore, so I got myself one of these little tools.
You know the dregs that come out of them? You can make space cakes with it because it don't get rid of all the THC.
Yeah. What I did last time, I've got a little pot like a camera case.
Yeah.
An old camera film case thing that side. So every time I use it, I pop it in that. When that's full, I put it in a jar with some coconut oil and cook it on a coffee warmer for about 2 hours. Strain it off, squeeze it out, and then I put the coconut oil in a cup of coffee and pour. I thought I was going to be the first person to die of a cannabis overdose last time I did that. Yeah. I've just got a full pot now, so I'll probably be doing that tomorrow night. Actually, I might just do half throw next time. It weighed a bit much.
You've got a one of them old camera pots with camera. Fucking hell! How long have you had that? Must be years. And was it a 24 or a 36?
No, I don't have that much these days. To be honest, I used to smoke it all day, every day. But since I did ayahuasca, as it happens, when I got back from there, I only have it on my nights off from work now, so like 3 nights a week.
Nights off from work?
I don't usually smoke it this time. It's usually just before I go to bed, but I thought I'd have a toot tonight while you were at it.
Well, we are, aren't we? That's what we're here. We're here to have a conversation between the tres of us. Ade there. Look at me and Ade. We look like the two Ronnies.
Oh no, Cardini, I got the bud bomb. The bud bombs are cool.
I've bought one today. I've got one ordered.
I'm not on commission, by the way, because I don't monetize anything, and there's no link down here for you to click on. So don't even fucking try it. Just go on. I bought this in a local market actually. It's a genuine bud bomb. Yeah, but you can get them on Amazon and
I have
usual fucking racist, Jewish, led Israeli fucking corporate bollocks places. Yeah,
I get everything off Amazon, to be honest.
Rick Woods has put an interesting thing in the chat room. He's put, look up the aviation fuel hoax. Have you heard about
that? Yeah,
I have. Yeah, that does get you thinking. That one.
I've got my best mate. Probably, your best mates are like 2-3 people if you're lucky in life, and one of those, his son, works at Rolls-Royce Aero Engines in the techie department, and he is one. I've talked about Nick quite a bit. He is one clever cookie. When he was doing his master's degree, the guy's supposed to be teaching him. It was the other way around. He was teaching them. I mean, he really is. Anyway, one of the projects that he was working on apparently was how to make the engines burn leaner. So it is all the time, save fuel, save fuel, save fuel, save fuel. And then I have an acquaintance, a guy I've met more than a few times and had more than a few drinks with, but he's not a lifelong mate, who's a pilot, and he pilots, I think he's just gone back onto jumbos, but he was flying A380s. And he says when an aircraft is cruising, he said it's almost burning like nil fuel. It's like you sitting at the traffic lights in neutral with nothing running other than the engine just ticking over.
Yeah.
You know, he said it literally just, they're using virtually nil. And then they tell you all these gallons and gallons and gallons of fuel that it burns and it costs and all the rest of it. And then you see an A380 at the airport that I've been on many times and will again be in 50 odd days. And this little fucking tanker pulls up. And this hose about this big goes, you know. And then 10 minutes later, they take it off again, and you think, is that it? You know, surely it takes more than that. Don't know.
You see, I would have thought the exact opposite. At cruising altitude, the air's thinner, so surely it would take more fuel to get through that air.
No, he said literally you could. He said, let alone fly on 2 engines. You know the jumbo when they built that. When it was originally designed, he said, everything had got like 6 or 7 lots of redundancy, so it can actually land on one of its 4 legs of landing gear. It can fly on one of its 4 engines. And what he was telling me was, when you're up there and the air's so thin, it takes so little
Well, to get your head around, because it could work two ways, couldn't it? Being on
exactly.
Thin, because you see, it's thin air, it's not going to take as much power to push through, but also it's not going to hold it up as well, you'd thought. So
I'd have to push through thin air.
on that one. Yeah.
He did show me some very, very interesting photographs of Israeli Airways. Who was the other one? Singapore and I think it was Malaysia, where pilots had literally driven a plane on the ground into another one and gone turning a corner and driven straight into the airport building with plane. And he said they are just unbelievable at smashing planes up on the floor. When they're not even in the air, they just break them. Yeah.
Oh, didn't it?
Fucking hell, I've got a bit coughs going on here. It's that fucking the weed, it's a bit sharp. It's last it though, so I've got another bag. Please, do not raid this house. I have got only one leg, so you can't raid my house anyway.
Can't raid mine. I've only got one
ball
lighter.
Is that guy where he showed you some interesting pictures? Is that the same guy that showed you a picture of Princess Diana's cock?
No. What the fuck? I sincerely hope she didn't have one of those.
I think, I've heard rumours. I think we probably should start a rumour. We'll start a conspiracy theory that Princess Diana had a dick. And that's why Charles
she
didn't
did.
like
She married him. Oh, sorry. Yeah, dick. Yeah.
Oh dear, sorry. We seem to have tumbled from flat Earth. We seem to have upped
into
the game a little bit. Princess Diana's knob.
We've fallen off the globe, haven't we?
We have fallen off the globe. Terror-wise going on. How's your group going?
So groups, as I say, groups going really well. It's grown fast anyway. Last couple of months, really. A few months ago, it could go for months and weeks without getting anyone joining, but there's been there were 20 people yesterday joined, more than 20.
So tell us about your group. Tell everybody how they can join it. What is it?
It's Facebook. It's false flags and media hoaxes. I've just made it private today because, as I say, I've had eight posts removed and they're threatening to bring down the page. So I thought if I make it private, less eyes.
Perhaps that's why you've had so many people join, so that they can fucking get in there and post.
Well, yeah, it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even need a shepherd anymore, do we? We're just the sheep that keep ourselves in control.
Yeah.
Well, not here, not in this end of Sheffield, Ade. We're fucking hard out down here. Where are you, Jay?
Yeah, Ecclesfield.
Oh, he's on the other side.
Oh, he's too near Barnsley.
Near Barnsley. Yeah.
Well, technically, I'm in Derbyshire, so I can't even say anything really.
Yeah.
And you were born in Lincolnshire and all.
I was born in Lincolnshire, which then turned to Humberside and then back to North Lincolnshire again.
Were you? So it's no secret that your heritage is Gypsy.
Well, part of it, yeah, part of it.
Yeah, part of your heritage is Gypsy. Were you offended by the Cher song?
What, Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves? No.
Okay.
Not at all.
I thought I'd ask you.
Yeah, no.
Has anybody ever asked you that?
No, never, no.
See, I'm the only one nice enough to ask you.
Yeah.
Now I know I will never, ever have to think about playing it in your company.
It's a bit like having to tell your friend he's got bad breath, isn't it, that? Having to ask a question like that. You're the only one that respected me enough to ask me that question.
Yeah, well, listen, I had a mate who had great bad breath, and all I did is when he went up to counter to buy some fags, I grabbed some fucking breath mints and chucked them at him, and he bought them and all. So there you go. But Yeah. Let's see who's in with Jay. Please come on again. This has been really enjoyable. Philosophical guys are great. There you go. That's from Sarah Smith in the chat room.
I can't see chat, so I'm sorry if I'm not responding to any. That's very kind of you. But I couldn't see the chat and the guys at the same time, so I've actually gone with the guys.
Did you hear what I said, Jay?
What's that?
Sorry, mate.
I thought you were shy.
Oh, Jay.
Oh, me? Yeah, no.
I'm just trying to keep his feet on the ground. That's all.
Oh, right. Yeah. You were dead shy, man. I thought you were a bit too shy.
Yeah.
I think she's talking shit.
Maybe it's helped having a bit.
Is that how we keep his feet on ground?
No, we've got to keep your feet on the ground because you are really good as a guest.
I am known as being a man of few words. I am generally sort of a quiet guy.
I think once you get to the point in your own journey, because it was Jason that gave me the kick up the arse to sort of have a look, and just kept digging and digging and digging until he found something that niggled me that much. I went to look for myself. And I kept saying to him, yeah, but what should I watch? What do I search for? And he went, you'll just find it, because you'll find the stuff that's relative to you. And he were right. You do end up finding. So we've all got our own journey to our own truth or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we end up with, I don't know. We've all got a perception of our own life. So even our truth might not be the same as somebody else's truth. So when it comes to is the earth flat, and I think we all end up with a cynical view because of all the other bullshit that we've been told, and that's whether it's a false flag, whether it's a proxy war, whatever it is. I mean, for me, a politician drawing a line on a map to me just makes fucking no sense whatsoever. And having a leader, it just makes no sense whatsoever to me. But I live in a society where that just is. Even so, I don't even feel like I fit in. And I think once you get to the point that the three of us are, and probably most of the people listening and watching, or I hope, it's almost where we don't fit in this world somehow. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I've got a little bit of numbers dyslexia, but I don't know. Maybe it's how a dyslexic feels, that because their brain don't work in this world of numbers and words for them. I don't know. And I think that when you get to this sort of discussion about is it flat, is it not, and it can't be proved one way or the other. That's why you can end up with the most cynical three people in the world sat looking at each other and basically all having the same questions but not as many answers.
I've just been sat here and I've just been thinking to myself, on this camera, it looks like I've got peach nail varnish on. And it looks like...
Can I ask you, have you got peach nail varnish on?
No, and it looks like I've got lipstick on and all. Look. I thought that last night with Rob. I weren't blowing kisses at him. I was looking at him.
I thought you were just doing the impression of a cat's arse.
No, that's just what I've noticed. But it's it's. What were you talking about? I was looking at me saying, weren't I? For God's sake, you don't expect a man looking in the mirror at himself is going to be able to listen to you as well. Can't do two things at once, I'm not a woman.
It's a good job. When I was saying all of that, I never expected you to listen. Not once.
Well, if you tell me what it were about, I'll know what it were that you were saying. That's how well I know you.
Oh, my God. Come on, Jay. Let's have something from you.
Right. I'll say... Oh, can I just ask? Well, I think, that post, what we originally... when I lost it now. The tennis ball thing, the post it were about, what's his name? Max Eigen.
Oh, yeah.
On his hand. Did you ever find out about that?
Just what he's put out. It seems to me, and it seems to me that he put some out, and then I think he regretted it, and he's tried to retract a lot of it.
Yeah, because I saw that PK. You watch any of his videos?
No, but people have been mentioning it in chat rooms, so I might have a look tonight. PK, I'm going to write that down with my fountain pen because I don't use ballpoint pens anymore. They're evil.
They're having like a war of words, aren't they? Because I've seen a couple of videos from PK slagging him off, and he actually mentioned flat Earth. He said that Max Eigen had said that the Earth was flat, and sort of
he did. Yeah, he did.
So
then he retracted that, didn't he? So.
Yeah, and
well,
then
he went this way. He went. Sorry, go on.
Well, PK said that he deleted the videos where he said that on, and any sort of comments about it. So I don't know if he's backtracked on that one.
Well, he didn't say that. Well, right. This is what he did say. Right. He didn't. He said, when I said the Earth was flat, I meant that it's flat and round. So he was trying to come up with some sort of philosophical way to say that it was like he'd been thinking about it all night, and he'd come up with this way. And however daft it sounded, that's what we were going to go with. And I don't know what. I don't know. Well, I don't know what.
I don't know.
I don't know what to think. There's people saying he's a shill. There's people saying that he's that he's controlled. I even had a look. I thought that perhaps there were a bit of green screening in some of it, but I don't know. I can't.
Yeah. Strange. But yeah, because I've not seen much of him recently, to be honest. But then I've been sharing one of his videos that came up. One he did about, you might have seen it, about how they dammed off creeks in Australia, and that were, not helping with the bushfires.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I shared that video because most of my posts these days seem to be about climate change, and I posted that a lot. His video, and then I heard about him declaring himself to be a flat earther. I'm thinking, fuck. That's going to go down well with me.
He didn't say I'm a flat earther. He just said the Earth's flat, folks. I'll do my Eigen, right? Are you ready? I've not rehearsed this. Well, folks, the Earth's flat, folks. And all the people, all those folks that have been saying that it was flat, they're all right. Everything, folks. I think that's one of the best Max Egan impressions you're going to ever find.
Thankfully, it's the only one I can find.
No, he seems to have shot himself in foot no matter what. And I don't know.
So you were saying you think we're just messing about, basically.
I don't know.
I'd not seen it, or I'd not seen it, as I say.
I would love to think that Max is exactly as he portrays. I would love to think that.
Yeah, it's always seemed all right for me. I know there was something a while back. It can't have been out major. Just can't even remember what it were, but it was some accusation of it where you always get it though. Everyone, don't you? Everyone's a shill, or
it's brilliant though, isn't it? You look and you watch it and you see everyone throwing shit at each other, and you just fucking sit there and just giggle because I'll listen to anybody's fucking shit on here. Anybody's, and I'll talk to them and I'll argue with them and I'll, we'll have a fucking laugh.
Yeah.
But fucking hell, the way people take it seriously, Jesus Christ! I don't what they got. What would happen if someone were having an argument and then somebody went, yeah, you're right. Did fucking jizz all over the fucking keyboard or something? Yeah, and he had Rick Woods has he had a swastika on his hand, and someone was reflected in his glasses, and that was the swastika thing I found.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, whether what he was saying about that, because like my mate Alfredo, he commented, didn't he, says, what's wrong with swastika, which I understand that it's just like a symbol of peace in it for some people. It's like a Buddhist symbol as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
of course it is.
it's not a Buddhist, is it? So there must have been some sort of weird thing behind it, We just wondered
I've
what
got
it
Buddhist
was.
symbols on my shoulder and on my back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it were a little bit weird. It were and the way that he showed, because I caught it. I was watching it on my telly, and I caught it, and I thought there's something on his hand, and I fucking rewound it, and I paused it, and I saw it was swastika, so I took some pictures, posted them up.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, people say it's an ancient Hindu, and apparently it dates back thousands of years through loads of different cultures, and mostly has a meaning of peace and everything. But my point was, in today's world, the only thing that is associated by anybody that sees that is the Nazis, and it was directly under a Palestinian flag.
Right. Yeah, it's all very odd, that, isn't it? Do you know if he's said anything about it? Because it has been picked up by. That's it. That's what when they think PKE mentioned it. He showed a picture of him showing it. So I wonder if Max Hagen had said anything. But Max Hagen has now accused PK of being a cop. I did see something like that. So it's all tit for tat, it seems.
Cocksucking motherfucker, I think is the words I heard.
Yeah, I heard him say cop as in police, I think he meant.
Oh, all sorts of weird. Someone's put no one going to mention Christchurch then. Yeah, we can mention Christchurch. I've got the video, I've seen the video. I don't know. It's another one of them. It could have been faked. It could have been. I know it went out live. It could have been all staged. It might not have been. I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Jay?
It's a good one. I know there was some pretty convincing evidence that it were faked, but it's not one I looked really very deep into that. But I'm yet to watch it. I shared on my Facebook page that there's a 12-hour, I think he said it was 12-hour video from PK on it, which he says exposes it all. So if anyone wants to go and watch that, I mean, it's one of them things you have to watch an hour at a time, but we're either 10 or 12-hour video about the Christchurch thing. There's a link on false flags and media hoaxes.
Again, I think by the time you get to the point that we're at in our own truth, it don't matter what comes up on any news item. The first thing you think of is, right, okay, who benefits from that being complete and utter fucking bullshit?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the story is. It doesn't matter whether it's royals or politics or money. The subject is almost irrelevant. It can be anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Denny's put, Jason, you were talking to Max today. Yeah. Okay. But it's probably something I want to keep private for now anyway. So we'll just leave that at that. Yeah, but another part of the Max Egan thing is he kept talking about he'd missed his ride.
Yeah.
And also, sort of talking about the one, like the Matrix folks, like them. I'm doing it again, ready? I'm going into me best Rolf Harris. Can you tell who it is yet? No, he sort of like said, I think I've missed my ride, and it like the Matrix folks. There is the one, the folks, yada, and you can go up to the next level and the next level and the next level and the next level, and there were quite a lot of detail in there.
Yeah, I'll have to have a listen to it back. That.
Yeah, he seemed to be trying to tell us that it was the one, and I really don't know what I really don't know.
Makes you wonder.
It does make you wonder, and it makes you wonder what's going on and who's going on. I mean, there were one particular woman that was doing his social media stuff and say, because first of all, the rumor was he'd been arrested on social media, and then the next morning, this video pops up, and it seemed that they seemed to be wanting to. It seemed that the arrest story was to create the interest and to create the people hashtagging or Max Egan yada yada yada. He's been arrested. All this hashtagging, and then out comes the big enchilada.
Very weird.
Messiah. Max is the Messiah of nothing, says Sarah. Yeah.
It's funny how all these people.
Go on.
All these people seem to end up compromised somehow, don't they? They'll seem like credible people, and then something happens like that. Happens a lot. It makes you wonder whether, it's like an MK Ultra type thing going on.
Yeah, David Taylor was saying, weren't he? He went all funny.
Yeah.
He went all funny, started calling his son. What did he call his son? He pretended he was a bird, didn't he? Well, like one of them transsexual people.
Yeah, Gloria or whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it were really. Yeah, it were. Anybody, if anybody knows what David Taylor's fucking girl name is, transvestite. We used to call him trannies. We call him a tranny. Anybody knows what David Taylor's tranny name was? If you can pop it in the thing, because as soon as I see it, I know I'll know it. But it was something. It was something really. It was something really flamboyant, shall we say? So, God knows. God knows what is going on. But like you say, it has happened to quite a lot of people.
Yeah, he's another one who reckon do it Messiah as well, weren't he? David Taylor.
That's right. Yeah. He said it was written in Jewish religious text or some.
John
that's what he called himself. He called himself Dolores.
Oh, I went for after. I said, "Oh no, I didn't say Doris, did I? I said Gloria."
It's still not far off. Go on, Ade.
Let me just get in flat Earth, innit? Flat Earth, mate. Right.
Go.
Before we have to go, one thing I wanted to mention is a flat Earth model. There isn't one flat Earth model what works. What says where you're able to see sun from at a certain time of day and all that lot. Whereas the ball Earth solar system model fits perfectly. It can predict everything. Solar eclipses can be predicted, what time the moon's going to appear and where it's going to appear on a whole Earth model, but there's not one what works on a flat Earth. I suppose you could argue it's just a really good hologram what they project onto the dome, but isn't it just easier to accept that we live on a big ball, a bit like the moon, but
I don't know, you see, for me, I just don't. It goes against all my instincts and what I see around me. It goes completely against it all. That for me, this is why I'm not against a ball Earth. It's just that there is far less people who've got a flat Earth point of view and they will have all this models and stuff like models and how this thing works and that works and everything. But the ball Earth, it's like you're a fucking madman if you believe it's flat, and that's supposed to be an argument. That's an argument. That's not really scientific, but they'll hide behind it. They'll say, "Oh, science says," but it's not. It's not.
I think the magic bullet is
fight, shall we say? It's not a
I've tried
fair
to avoid
fight.
that, but
If it was a
it
fair
does usually
fight,
go down that road. It usually goes down that road because to prove a flat Earth, you have to start coming up with all kinds of like ridiculous arguments, like the one about the sun, how it travels through the sky. They thinks it sets because it doesn't set; it just gets really far away. But its angular size doesn't change. It stays the same size when it gets to the. It can look bigger often because of the lensing effect and the refraction. It can look a lot bigger than it is, but if the sun is close as it would have to be on a flat Earth.
tell me what refraction is. You're using that, so tell me. Can you explain that? What that is? Because I don't know.
It's the effect of light bending through the atmosphere over water. Light will bend. Like you mentioned, similar effect to a mirage, but light. It is accepted that light bends over water because of refraction. It's similar to when you put a stick in water and it looks like it's bent, kind of thing. That's the light bending, and the atmosphere will do that as well.
Right. Okay. So the atmosphere is like the as above, so below type thing. That would make you a flat earther, wouldn't it?
Well, if that proved anything, it would be, wouldn't you?
No, but you can see what I mean. It's just.
You see, I in one way I agree with Jason because there's more logical answers for it being flat than there is this ball thing that relies on one magic bullet called gravity that nobody can prove.
I wouldn't say nobody can prove it. It's disputed, but I think
nobody can prove it. You can prove effect.
There's obviously a force. There's obviously a force holding us to Earth. Well,
yeah. So effects you can prove, but you can't prove cause.
I mean, it's like when you look at moon. Do you expect the dust and the rocks to fall off the moon if that is a true object, or do you believe that it's a hologram?
Is that the stupidest question I've ever been asked? I think. Sorry, I'm sorry to
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, the dust coming off the moon. Weren't we talking about something completely fucking different?
Well, no, because obviously there's a force holding everything to the moon, isn't there? And it's the same on this planet.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We can measure the effect, but we cannot find a cause. So unless you've got cause and effect,
yeah, it is I think even scientists will say it's not a fully understood force, but it's obviously there, isn't it? Otherwise, nothing would all fall off. Everything would fall off, the same as the dust and the rocks fall off the moon.
Why would we fall off? Because it's a ball.
Because you need a force. Yeah. You need a force.
Fly off then. If there were no gravity, we would fly off.
Well, yeah.
Well, we wouldn't though, really, would we? Because you said earlier on it's so slow, that we won't fly off. But you're saying we would fly off.
That's a totally different force, isn't it?
Centrifugal force, rather than gravity.
It's gravity what keeps things down, but it would be centrifugal force that would throw us off the planet if that existed.
Yeah. It's gravity is the force that keeps things down, and Princess Diana, it was the force that brought things up. We're at 2 hours, mate. Tell everybody about your Facebook page and how to get there. Because if you're private now, how are people going to find you?
I think it's just the same. I think you search it, but I just think it means the things that are posted on it are private. So, like before, if I posted something on it, it'd show up on my friends. Some of my friends might see it, whereas they wouldn't now. And other people who stumble on the page or whatever can't look at it without becoming a member, whereas they could before. That's as far as I understand it, anyways. So it's false flags and media hoaxes. You're welcome to join. To be honest, it's pretty rare I post stuff on it these days. I'm more in the climate change debate, arguing with idiots on independent Facebook page and stuff like that. Seems to be how I spend my days, and sharing lots of Tony Heller videos.
Okay.
Do you know Tony Heller? You watch him?
Who?
Tony Heller. He's
No.
He's like a researcher from realclimatescience.com. He's got a YouTube channel. He usually releases a couple of videos a day exposing all this climate change bollocks.
Yeah, I think I watched one that you posted the other day, actually. But I just got, you know, they weren't much that I didn't already know, so I just ended up not watching all of it.
Yeah.
So, right, well, this has been, it's been great. It's been a lovely 2 hours. And if I was Andy, I'd say it's absolute. I'm going to make this is my best Andy impression. Oh, it's absolutely flown by. Well, all right. Thank you very much. He had a bit of a Birmingham twang, I think. Thank you very much. And to our guest tonight, Jay. I'm probably way off, but anyway.
That was an impression of you doing an impression of Patsy Kensit doing that South African thing in the.
Lethal Weapon. Oh,
Lethal
God,
Weapon.
she was terrible, weren't she?
That's how good that impression of Andy was.
I can't say how, because my daughter's boyfriend's South African, so I really
can.
I don't want to. I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll listen to this anyway. He's a bit thick, a bit like her. Anyway, so sorry. I'm not fucking sorry. Thanks to you, Jay, for coming on. We'll definitely have you on again pretty soon. And look at him. Oh, he's got his eye, the all-seeing eye. That's going to be massive. That tomorrow. You wake up in the morning, and Piers Morgan's going to be going, oh, that fucking eye that he had on last night.
Hagen and PK.
Last word from you, mate.
All right, mate. Thanks for having me. See you later. Good night.
Take it easy.
See you later.
See you later. Good night.
We'll see you later, then, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye. Yo, just me and D-Aid.
Press button.
Oh, I'm going to press it now. I bet you say that all the time, don't you?
Well, press button.
Press it, just because I'm not pressing your fucking button, you have a fucking tag at me. For God's sake, sometimes at night I don't want to fucking press any buttons. But I'm going to press it now. We'll see you next Monday and Tuesday. Take it easy. Bye, everybody.
Ta-ra.